What's up, guys? Jeremy here from school.com/financial coaching. If you're thinking about being a financial advisor, there is one huge tip I want to give you in this video. I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. I am a financial advisor at my wholly owned firm, BR Legacy. And if you're thinking about becoming one, hey, it's an amazing career. You really should think about it. I mean, first of all, fundamentally, the job is to help people. There's not that many careers that are so obviously ethical, just so beneficial. You're literally being paid to help people, to serve people, and that feels good. It's very fulfilling, right? But also, there's no income ceiling to how much you can make as a financial advisor. There's also a very flexible job in terms of what you do on a day-to-day basis. You could be more on the technical side of the finances. You could be more on the relationship side of being a financial advisor. Also, a lot of flexibility week to week, year to year. How much time do you spend working? Where do you spend working? What do you wear to work? Like a lot of flexibility and an awesome growth curve in terms of your income or your projected revenue. If you have a book of business and your average client is 35, well, you know what? That book of business is going to keep paying you, keep rewarding you for building that business year over year. Of course, a client could leave, but if you're doing a good job for them, why would they? And if you're not, then why are you in this business, right? So you're going to do a great job for anyone who entrusts you with money, and then their assets are going to grow. And then the more that assets grow, the more that other people trust you to manage their assets as well. And so it's an amazing snowball, and the income arc is great, even related to already accomplished business, already established clientele. The money that you make from them has a long tail, and it gets larger over time, generally speaking. So an amazing career, right? And if you're considering this career, it might be because a recruiter from some firm found you. They sent you a DM, or they sent you a text, or maybe someone you know sent you a text. Hey, what if you thought about giving this a shot? Do you want to work for me? And then they paint this picture of how amazing the career is, right? And you're like, oh, I can see that picture. It looks like a pretty picture. What should I do? Like, should I jump into this? And what you don't consciously process is this next step, which is that almost always, well, if you're considering this career independently of any like trigger, kudos to you. But if something has happened, someone has contacted you, what has happened is they've painted this picture. And if you say, yeah, I am interested in that career, okay, boom. And now you're in the funnel of that firm's recruitment. Hey, here are the next steps. Here's how you can get started in your career. Here's the training. Here's the coaching. Here's the exams. We'll pay for this fee. Here's this stipend. They're showing you, here is the road that we've created to your eventual dream career. And it almost bypasses your conscious decision making because you spent all this effort thinking about, do I want to work towards that career? And you failed, usually, and it's on purpose, that they don't want you to think about, how do I want to pursue that career? What is the best road for me to engage in that career? That's the part that often you're missing when you're talking about a broker dealer or a big box firm, and they're saying, hey, come on, we've got the map, let's do it. The reason I want you to think before you sign the dotted line is because, in my opinion, your chances of success are far greater if you start independently as an RIA firm rather than in a big box firm. The main reason that your success independently is a much higher probability is because there is no artificial like sales quota. There's no speed by which you must grow or else you lose your contract. Like you can grow however slow you want to. Again, we talked about the long tail and the rising income associated from each client. So guess what? If you do advising work on nights and weekends while you still hold a part-time job, great. Like if you're independent. But you don't have that. You don't have the luxury of growing as slow as you want to. You have to grow fast. In most firms, it might be 50 to 100 clients a year, or it might be based on how many $1 million of assets you bring in a year. And I'm saying that's an artificial limitation on the way that you can operate as a business. And it forces you basically to become very hunter, very networker, very sales, which might erode trust with your natural market of relationships, who actually, if you had engaged in an organic and genuine relationship building way, might have been very inclined to trust you over time with a portion or all of their investment assets. So consider going independent. One, because it's much more likely that you succeed, mostly because there's no artificial timestamp on how fast you need to succeed. But also because you get to structure the firm around your strengths. Your value proposition is what you know you can deliver value on the most. For me, that's related to ethical investing and investing for ROI. But for you, it might be something different. You also get to structure your firm around your values. So your fulfillment level becomes higher. Your willingness to work, therefore, becomes higher because you're not internally conflicted on, am I doing this the right way, or do I believe in this or not, etc. And also, you can charge whatever you want to charge, and you get to keep the fee. You're not splitting it up between a mutual fund and your local branch of the firm, and then firm corporate, and etc., joint work client or rep that you took on with you. You get to keep the fee. So it's much more likely that you succeed for those reasons. And if you succeed, the benefits of the career are magnified. Like we talked about, no ceiling on income. Well, guess what? If you're independent, the ceiling on your income is way higher than if you work for a firm. Because again, you get to set your price, right? And you get to keep all the fee. The flexibility, if you work for yourself, way higher than if you work for a firm. I mean, way higher, right? So, and I could keep going on, but basically it's more likely that you succeed if you're independent. And then also, if you succeed, it's much more enjoyable if you're independent compared to if you're at a firm. And finally, there's no risk, not no risk, but like the risk of somehow your status being threatened, much lower. Another way to say that is your success is much safer and much more secure when you are independent versus if you're at a firm, because you're not contracted by a firm. Your pay is to your company. So the only way you would get shut down is like if the state regulators shut you down, which you would have to be miserably horrible as a human being in embezzling money or in some way like making horrible recommendations intentionally and defrauding customers for the state to just shut you down. You know, if you make mistakes on your compliance, like you don't archive something correctly, they're just going to tell you to fix it, and then you'll just fix it. You're not going to lose your whole company over it, right? And then you have all the equity of this company, right? And you can sell that RIA book for far more than you would be able to sell a practice that's under a firm, because the only people that are going to buy that practice are people that are already within that firm. And so that firm probably has standard procedures for how they go about that. And your leverage is so much lower as far as like business continuity planning, estate planning. How do you want not just the income that you've made, but how do you want the entity that you've created to add value to your life? You get to choose that a lot more when you're independent. So if you're thinking about becoming a financial advisor and this video is helpful at all, please give it a like. If you have any questions on how to go independent, let me know. I am really strongly considering launching a coaching group geared towards RIA firms, but it's not that hard. It's not that hard is the main thing that I want to say. There's just one exam you need to pass, the Series 65, and then you apply with your state. You need to create some documents as far as your internal, how is my, privacy policy, your contract document, etc. There are plenty of places that you can pay to give you samples that you could use. I'm happy to work with people as well. The point of this is not for us to partner at all. The point of this video is really mainly, if you're considering it, please consider going independent, because what I don't want to happen is the big get bigger and no one else can ever join the party. Like, what I don't want to happen is all these well-meaning people with amazing characters, amazing values, awesome relationships of people that trust them decide to mortgage all of their life to try to make it as a financial advisor under this big firm, and then end up burning bridges of value that they had created with their relationships, and then failing as a financial advisor because they didn't get 100 clients in 10 months, or because their network isn't already incredibly wealthy, and now they're kicked out. Like, they just have to figure it out, like start a new career. Oh, well, I guess it wasn't for me. When if they had gone independent, they might have actually been very healthily able to lead step by step, year by year, a growing book of business and clientele. And so, all that to say, consider it, think about it. If you want to pursue the career, the encouragement of this video is very simply, please think about what is the best way for you to pursue that career. Is going with a firm adding to the viability of your success, or is it just the default of what you think you should do? And I would say it's the default. If you can succeed at a big firm, amazing, but I would just say you probably could have succeeded even more independently and made more from your success independently. Which is why, by the way, a lot of people, when they succeed at a firm, end up taking their business independent because it's so much more attractive. And unless you feel like, I'm not even going to say that. Think about it. All right. If this was helpful, you're welcome. I'll talk to y'all soon.